Content of this meeting is being sent to a third party. It is also being transferred 4:59 p.m.
Wow.
Well,
In
we
1
got
minute,
tubes firing up. There we go.
and we're
All right, tubes are up.
live. Live, not on SNL, but live from
The
Innervision
great
FM
state
News
of
and News.
Colorado, and Johnny's from the Mile High City, and I'm a little bit higher.
Yeah, yes. I love
I'm
it.
the creek. It's kind of cold up here.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
Innervision FM listeners and watchers, uh, welcome to the Innervision FM universe. Hey, Joe can't be with us tonight. He's got some stuff going on, so keep him in your prayers. Keep him safe. He's got some weather-related issues, internet-related stuff. So he'll be back with us, no doubt, either tomorrow or next week. He's our resident time traveler from the Philippines. We got a good show for you tonight. Got Johnny J in the house. I'm Alan C. Stay tuned. We might just give you guys a good opportunity to get involved with the blindness community. But
Yeah.
we got some really good topics tonight to talk about fraud in the federal
Yeah.
government being exposed by the DOGE, Department of Government Efficiency.
Yeah. And they're talking about some computer program that's 60 years old and is out of date. And I'm thinking, like, with all the money they're spending, they can't find any smart people. They remember, it was a movie about these three black women that helped calculate going around the moon and stuff like that. Now, if they could find these three mathematical, intelligent black women back in 1960, I think it was it?
4,
Yeah.
1966. I know there was a program where there was these two women. They did happen to be part of the Black American community. What were their names? Do you
Oh,
remember?
I saw I saw the movie, and I was gonna watch it again, but I got tied up in something else. Okay, let me ask my thing. What was the name of the three black women that helped calculate going around the moon in the 60s? Yeah, yeah. John Glenn was the astronaut.
It's not going to give it to you. Gosh, it's interesting because the Black community, as well as the blindness community, have a lot of storied history. You ought to check it out sometime. There's good and bad and everything. We like to look at and focus on the good stuff. And these three women were instrumental in setting up the calculations used so that the astronauts could make a safe
Oh,
landing.
the movie's called Hidden Figures.
Hidden Figures?
Yes, that's the name of the movie. Yes,
Figures, Hidden Figures. So
yes.
check that out. I mean, it's just kind of a free plug. We don't really promote stuff, but
Hey,
boy, that sounds like a really good movie. Um, we got some other
yeah.
topics as well within the entertainment sector.
Oh,
We
yeah.
are Innervision FM News as well.
Now, now, in that movie, in that the musical group, One Direction,
Yeah.
was it? I guess did the lead singer, while he was with the group, fall off the balcony, or was it? Did he lead the group and then was going solo and he fell off the balcony? And does that have anything to do with Harry Styles?
You know, I'm unclear as to the lead singer as to whether he was still part of One Direction, as well as doing a little bit of moonlighting and doing a solo career.
Yeah.
I do know
Was-
that was some rather tragic stuff because One Direction had a bright future if you like that kind of music genre.
And who was the guy he's a critic on he started he was the critic oh, what is his name? All these names are living, like for America's Got Talent. He was on there as one of the judges. He's a guy from England. Uh, uh, who? Okay, let me see. Wait, it's like who created the American Got Talent in England? Now,
Simon Cowell.
yeah,
Sometimes the smartphones aren't so
look at
smart.
that. Stop killing me about Britain. I don't want to know about Brittany. Okay, who's one of the judges on America's Got Talent? Who's the worst critic? Yeah. Now you.
Is Randy or Paula Abdul or I don't know, toss down there in the comments. What do you guys think? Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. This is our bread and butter, and without your comments, the algorithms don't give us as much love as we would like. So if you could do us a solid, don't forget to like, and if you find this content in any way interesting, boy, it helps the blindness community out immensely. Just for those likes, even those subscribes, toss that comment down.
I can produce the guy's voice in my head, but I just can't remember his name. Oh man, it is almost like that is so frustrating. So if you know his name, I mean, it's almost like at the tip of my tongue because I was reading stories about the guy. I think it was in one of the stories I read, and you know, I sort of liked it because he he would just tell you, he says you're too fat to be a singer, or your voice is not that good, and he would just tell you what your
Really
mother would
sounds
tell
like
you.
Simon Cowell to me.
Yeah, Simon Cowell, that's his name. How could I forget that name? Simon Cowell. Ah, yes. Okay, so anyway, so I guess they said, okay, it was a joke said that he incubated these guys into life. Oh man. So and I guess once again, what what is this about? Never mind, never mind. My phone is saying some silly stuff to me. Uh, I'm not listening to that. Okay. But yeah. How is Simon's Cow? I don't know. I like his personality. I mean, sometimes you get to that point and if you're in a echoes chamber and nobody's really the yes people to you, sometimes you need that un-yes person to say this is how it is, and
He
this is
was
what you can do to
definitely really
prove.
good for that. In fact, he made some people cry.
Yeah.
Uh,
We had this
uh,
one lady, and I did an interview with her. I don't remember her name, whatever. But the president of Combo, Barbara Dye, said that when she went on sale, she had this kind of like diamond on her neck. And so instead of looking at her, people would be focusing on this kind of, I don't know, some kind of brooch on her neck. And she
Mhm.
says, you really should take that off because it directs the
Takes away
people's
from
eyes to
Right.
that,
Right.
not to your performance.
Absolutely.
Or this is one of the worst ones. She says, sometimes people will close their eyes and instead of connecting with the audience, the eyes are closed, right? And it's almost like it says that's the worst thing you could do on stage is close your eyes because you're not connecting with the audience. Now with us, I guess we never connect with the audience because our eyes are
I guess
always
we just
closed.
have to rely on our winning personality so that we can kind of mangle and muddle and whatever on through. It's interesting because, Johnny, being a part of a societal demographic with a 70 to 90% unemployment rate, one thing that I have noticed that, I find fascinating is this. There was a there was a pandemic and it was released, as you know,
Uh-huh.
a few years ago. And this here pandemic, um, don't touch your hands or your eyes, you're blind. Boy, that's hard. Well, don't worry about it. 70 to 90% unemployment rate. Don't breathe. Oh, you talk to people, you're blind. Man, you really should just try to isolate yourself so that you don't do anything, untoward to your relatives. Stay 6 feet away from people. Man, how do you do that if you're a blind person?
And then if you're going shopping, they have these
Masks.
people helping you shop. They're now afraid of you. And I'm just into
Yes.
18-year-old people. They're
Yep.
afraid of you because they might catch this and take it home to grandmother and kill grandmother. It's like, oh man, these man. So
So
oh man.
we never really recovered, but we do have a chance. We do have possibilities. And that is what Innervision FM does, is open some possibilities for the blind uh, and otherwise physically disabled or financially challenged individual so that they can achieve their dreams, really. But we do need your help. We kind of did over the last, year and a half, hit a really rough spot that we weren't able to coast through and, muddle through. And we didn't get this 50 million, billion, trillion dollars that the Doge is uncovering as fraud. We would have put that stuff to good use. So all the stuff in the descriptions down below will help you to help us. And so if you'll take a look at that, I'm going to ask you a favor. You go ahead and make whatever donation you can go ahead and feel like making. That's going to help out, the 10 plus million folk who happen to be blind or low vision in this country, for sure, because that's where I'm bent. I'm blind. That's where Johnny's bent. He's also blind. But really to branch out and to reach out, we don't stay with just the blindness community. So anybody who's got any sort of talent, hit us up. Toss that email address you're using. What is it? The MSN3 email?
Yeah, the Innervision3 at msn.com. It's spelled the same way as the Innervision FM. Just take off the FM and put a 3 at msn.com, and we'll get your message. And if you make a comment on like either LinkedIn or I'm not sure if we're still, because I changed the name of my Facebook with instead of KC, since I'm not managing KC and Friends anymore, to Tony. And I wonder if it disconnected the YouTube, because I looked up there and I don't see our show showing
Yeah, I
up
didn't see
in
it
the.
up there. Yeah, it's not going up.
It's not.
No.
So I may have to reconnect it. And I was thinking about like doing that right before and so I just been sharing it across like that, which
Yeah.
I'm not even sure that's been good, because I was doing it the other day, and I was doing some, I guess, with Facebook, prank, even though Zuckerberg said that he's sorry. I'm so sorry, Uncle Albert. No, I don't know. It looked like then they kicked me out, said, well, we don't know this if it's you, Johnny. Somebody else might be trying to get in, and then I had to
Wow.
get back into my account, and I could have just left it for a few days, but I said, well, since you kicked me out now, I might as well go through the prompts and get back in.
Yeah, may as
And it's
well.
like, so yeah, I gotta look through there and see if because I changed the bio, everything. I'm now, promoting Tony.
Right.
If it knocked that link out.
Hey, we got lots more for you tonight. We're going to talk a little bit about Sinead O'Connor. We're going to talk a little bit about oh gosh, it's kind of a free-form Tuesday for us.
Yeah.
I totally lost my notes.
Biden letting in 7,000 illegals a day, and now it's down to 229 a week.
That's amazing, because that's a 98 point, I can't quite do the math in my head, 98.2 or
percent, yeah, less.
something percentage.
And all they're
Holy
doing,
smoke, dude.
Biden kept saying, I have to go to Congress and change the law.
Yeah, right.
No law has been changed, no law has been updated. They've just been allowed to do the law.
I think that's exactly right, Johnny. I mean, President Trump hasn't even been in office for
3 weeks, yeah,
a month
4 weeks.
yet.
Oh,
Yeah, he hasn't even quite been in office for a month yet. And so he's done more in that month. Both, some would say good. Yeah, I would say good.
oh yeah.
And some would say bad. Obviously, I'm not one of these that worships Donald John Trump and thinks he's king, but he's doing what the people elected for him to do. At least it's what it looks like. And it's our duty as the people to stay involved, just
Oh,
stay involved at the local, state, federal levels.
yesterday, there were little protests in different cities. And we had one in Colorado, and it was so cold.
Yes.
Jeff Hunt. If you go to, I think it's at Jeff Hunt from KNUS Twitter page, X page.
Yeah.
So he went out there and he said, "Oh man," he said, his hands were freezing up, and he had to go in the car, warming up a little bit, and then he went back out. So he was asking some of these people who were protesting. They were saying, "Well, Donald Trump is acting like a king," and then he says, "How is he acting like a king?" And they couldn't answer their talking
The thing
points.
is, once you get past the talking points, Johnny, once you start really asking them, well, all right, so Doge is uncovering fraud. Okay, people are screaming. It's going to happen on both sides. So they're going to, obviously, they're going to come across some Republicans as well. They're probably going to get caught up in the mix, but, we'll hope for the best with that. But the people that are screaming the loudest, those are the most guilty. And he's
Yes.
not just going willy-nilly with stuff. And even though he's being blocked at every turn by the judicial branch, which really should have no business, in my mind, blocking the executive branch. These are co-equal branches. Like one branch does not have power to block another branch. That's why the Supreme Court is so very important, but even the Supreme Court opinions themselves can be set aside and have been set aside historically by certain presidents. So it's interesting, and it's fascinating to know your history, to get into that type of stuff, and to really just be involved, peaceably at the local, state,
Well,
federal levels as best you can.
speaking of like peacefully, okay, when Black Lives Matter and and Antifa was doing their thing,
Yeah.
they sued Denver, and they unfortunately they won a settlement because they said, "Oh, the police were shooting rubber bullets at me while
Rubber bullets.
I
Yeah.
was throwing cans at them."
Yeah, I
Whoa,
was only throwing cans at them, or I was throwing bottles of urine, if I remember correctly.
yeah,
There were other things going on,
yeah.
more heinous things
And
than.
whatever judge that was that let that go through, they would have said, you have to pay the cost to be the boss. And now I'm hoping that most of that money that was spent on these riders, because I mean, yeah, I hope that is just gonna dry up, and now they're gonna have to get a real job or just accept what they're getting off of welfare. It's like, geez.
Well, this is one thing that I really want to hammer on for folks that are watching and listening. We would take any sort of funding and donations. We do rely on some grants and things like that, but we would take those donations and we would use them for purposes that are good, and we would be transparent with them. Let people take a look at the books. I mean, my gosh. Bottom line is we're often we are operating in the red. So, it would be of great assistance to us if there's somebody that could kind of point us in the right direction with some certain things as well. So we've started asking for some volunteers, and we've started opening up that as well, because the bigger the base of individuals that we have that are involved, the more people we can reach. And we'll be doing some concerts here in the near future.
Oh yeah.
Towards the southern portion of the state in June and in August. So stay tuned for some upcoming Innervision FM news.
And I'm writing some grants towards the Colorado Springs area too.
Yeah.
So that'll work. I was about to call you and ask you if you knew about the city, because I was wondering Colorado Springs, and I'm thinking like, you might know or you might not know how far it is from you.
So they're like 30
yeah.
miles from where I'm at, 20, 30 miles. So it's not a big deal for me to get into Colorado Springs. Also, I wanted to, talk to some folks up here in Cripple Creek, because obviously that's a gambling type of situation. And so there's money there and stuff. The bottom line is the blind and low vision community, for thousands of years, we've been looked at as, quote, beggars, people with our hats in our hands, wanting always to be taken care of. Now, sure, we might need a hand up, from time to time, because situations that we live under dictate that. I mean, shoot, there are certain blind people that can make just over $22 a month, $22 a week, before their SSI benefits are affected. And that's if they don't have certain things in place. Now, there's paperwork involved. There's all kinds of crazy stuff that you can avail yourself of, but the Social Security Administration does not have the obligation nor the legal right to let people know about some of the programs that are administered by the Social Security Administration. So you got to go to these different foundations to find out this information. So that's part of why there's a 70, 90% unemployment rate. But with AI, oh my gosh, all that's going to change. Even with a subscription base, there's going to be, now this is just imagining here and putting it forward, but there's going to be a group of investors that will take the blindness community and be like, you know what? We're going to make this thing rock and roll with or without, any sort of help from, I mean, it's been great getting some help, but we'd rather do it ourselves. We'd rather just be productive ourselves. Like Sinead O'Connor, like Prince, like some of these other
Miley Cyrus.
Miley Cyrus, even. I mean,
Yeah.
my gosh, think about her and the career that the fan base she still has. Obviously, she's got a few bats in the belfry, I would imagine, a few skeletons in the.
Yeah, man, she's so funny. When I saw her, she says, I don't need, what was the song? I don't need you to give me any flowers. I could give myself flowers. I don't need you to hold my hand. I can hold my own hand. I said, okay.
Well, the bottom line is, man, that kind of confidence has to be.
Oh man.
Yeah, you gotta have that kind of
I bet she's funny. She probably should have been I wonder if her stage performance, as far as like, because she was so funny when I saw her on the award show. I wonder if she does a little bit of stand-up and her music when she does her live shows.
Tell you, she's starting to sound rough. Man, she's starting to sound more and more rough over the years.
Yeah.
She sounds like she drinks about, she sounds like she's
smoking a little bit with the graspy kind of voice.
Cigarettes and smoke a little something else in cigarette,
Oh man. So I don't know, man. I just found it just funny when we showed on the show. I mean, because I would hear the song. So who is this singing about, you know, I could do better than I could than when if I was just you. Who can love me better? I That's just a fun song, man.
It is
So
a fun song. You know,
so it's
Sinead O'Connor also did some fun stuff.
oh
She she did this one thing, and man, I can't remember, and I need your guys' help in the Innervision FM universe. She did this one song by Prince, actually. Nothing Compares to You or something like that.
mm,
Really popular for about 10 minutes. I mean, you could still find it. And in fact, you'll still hum that song if you were born eh, probably in the 70s, 80s, because it was popular,
yeah,
what, in the 90s.
yeah.
So
And and
you
and
were
and uh, and if you okay, she was banned from SNL, but I'm thinking like what she said was true, and it
oh,
was
about the
a
priest stuff.
yeah. She
Oh
said
my
it was
gosh.
true, and I don't
Oh,
know why they would ban her, or okay, she lived. I guess she died in the early 2000s, 2021 or 20. But
oh my.
I don't know why they would have her banned all those years, and when it came out in the 80s, 90s, and all these young people sued
Yeah.
and got these big, behind the door settlements, why they would say, okay, they could have said, okay, we were wrong. Come on back. We'll make a public apologies to the fact that you were right and we were wrong.
Yeah.
And who knows? Maybe somebody, maybe the Pope invited one of the powers that be and say, hey, keep that ban on until until
Yeah,
the end
one
of
of the thing
time.
was is what she did, but she ripped up a picture of the Pope, the current Pope, and boy, that went over about like a turd in a punch bowl. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, she didn't mind. You thought Howard Stern was a shock jock. She was she was a pop jock. Yeah, yeah,
If you guys like this type of stuff, don't forget to like it. Yeah, hit that like button. Smash that like button, as they say. Don't forget to toss a comment down below because it's important, like I said. And
yeah. So I don't know. It's been a lot of unusual things where you find out like years later that person was right. And
speaking of years later, finding out that person was right, JFK stuff is slowly trickling out. Um,
hmm,
got there might have been a second person up on that there grassy knoll like people are talking about for all these years. So all these conspiracy folks, sometimes it does end up that they are indeed vindicated. So question
yeah,
everything. Don't forget though, don't question too much.
yeah,
Don't go down the rabbit hole because that thing will suck you down. Yeah. It's kind of like a undertow. You could follow some stuff and keep following some stuff and keep following some stuff. So I think the big thing is keep your focus where it should be focused. Don't look to the left, don't look to the right. Just keep your eyes on the prize, look for Christ, and he's our salvation. Ain't no Trump that's going to be our salvation. There might be a golden age. We might have a bit of a chance to be honored to win some souls for Christ, but you know, I tell you,
hmm,
the either extreme love or extreme hate for Donald Trump. It's
ridiculous.
interesting.
Ridiculous, ridiculous. Hey, oh, by the way, after we leave here, some of us, I don't know if you're, there's another meeting, and you think our show is long. There's another meeting called "You Don't Look Like You're Blind." You don't look like you're blind. And it started about 5 o'clock, and it goes until 10 p.m.
Yeah, they stay going for 10 hours or 5 hours. Man,
And
I'll
you
tell
would
you
think that
what,
who could talk that long, but I've jumped in some of those meetings because I was planning on watching
very
the movie.
interesting.
I was planning on watching my movie, The Beekeeper, and I'm trying to think, oh man, should I go to that meeting because that's going to take up my Beekeeper movie time because I've saw the movie like once, twice already with audio description, and
Yeah.
I'm watching it and it's like, this is a good movie. If you ever had a chance to watch the movie Beekeeper,
Yep.
uh, go out there. But anyway, so I'm thinking like, should I go to this meeting? because what if I just get wrapped up into the conversation? Because I always learn something when I go to the meeting.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I
Technology.
never really make it because of the life I'm living right at this point. I'm busy all the time, busy.
Oh, it'll get you wrapped up.
Oh yeah. But
So,
one thing I want to leave you folks with is this.
oh,
Imagine 18 acres. Imagine a facility where if you wanted to learn how to live off the grid and you're a blind individual, for instance, uh, where would you go to do that? Imagine a place where, well, let's say you still wanted to be connected to everything. You kind of wanted to stay away from the cities and just kind of see how stuff shook out, but you still wanted to have technology and learn AI and, practice your trade. Yeah, maybe it's a music trade. Where would you go for that? These are the types of visions that Innervision FM aspires to support. It's not just what is it? The folks in the music industry. Also, as we talked about yesterday, don't forget to check out that show too, Jimmy Lee Tillman. We do try to get involved a little bit in the political arena. As a matter of fact, Johnnie J ran for House District number 5 a couple of times, actually. May yet run again. Don't know.
Oh, they just sent me something from the Colorado State saying, "Do you want to renew your name?" And they said $5.
Ah, shoot,
And,
send that in. Send that in.
yeah.
I think the big thing here is this. We need to, at the local level, get involved. That's where things start. We need to, at the state level, get involved. That's where things are sustained, and that's where the monies come from. That's where the folks can go to the folks where the sausage is being made at the federal level and go and talk to the senators and congressmen necessary to go ahead and fund certain programs. Yes, it's absolutely true that Doge is finding fraud. Yes, things are going to change because, well, they have to. They don't have a choice. But the bottom line is there's never been a better time for us to actually at least make the attempt to get involved. Now, some say this. Oh, this is a ploy by the New World Order 2.0. They're here to, go ahead and they went ahead and installed whatever so that the people thought that they had a chance and a blah, blah, blah. And then AI is going to take over and they got a dystopian future for us. But you know who's on the throne? Christ is on the throne. So that's where we put our trust and that's where we put our faith. And that's why we're going to succeed, but we can't do it without your help.
Yes. So $ Innervision J or Innervision JJ, or you can go on our website, innervisionrecords.org, and we're using the donor box, so it keeps an account, and then it puts together the tax forms for us and all that good stuff. So at the end of the year, we could send that back out to you, and so you could do that. So it's innervisionrecords.org. Go down to where it says where the donor box is, where it says what our goal is for this year, and support us that way too.
And don't forget that Innervision3@msn.com is the email if you want to get a hold of us.
Oh yeah, definitely. So if we haven't answered your question, if you're on one of the other platforms, and if you're not, well, we're gonna say if you're not seeing us on YouTube, I'll work on that tomorrow, reconnecting that. But I know LinkedIn is seeing us. X, as far as I know, is seeing us. And if you get a chance, Jeff Hunt, where he went out there into the protesters, the cold wind and protesters, KNUS radio, 710 KNUS radio news talk, and he went out there and for 2 hours and came back that night and got it all edited together and and you hear it on the audio show, or if you want to go directly to X, you can see those interviews there. Which I'm gonna go myself before I go into that other meeting.
Yeah, I've been meaning
Oh,
to get stuff square, but I lost my wallet. It's around this 18-acre property.
oh man, you think you lost it outside?
Now, originally I thought I lost it outside while I was getting wood in here and doing whatever, but I went outside and we took a look before it snowed really bad. Didn't find it. So it's got
Mm,
to be in here somewheres. But
yeah.
who knows? Who knows? But
Mm.
yeah, once I get everything square again and my ID just expired. And it's interesting how if you don't have an ID, you really can't get anything done. How did the
Do you know that they can use your old picture and
mhm,
just create a new ID
yep,
online
yep,
and just mail it to you?
yep, slick as you please. Boom, just like that, man.
Oh, and they were saying like, people are they were so worried about, and I should, that's what I was going to put in here. They were so worried about people getting a hold of your social security number, and then
Yeah.
they started saying, okay, the bank tellers, they have your social security number. You
Yeah,
go to buy a car,
yeah.
they have your social security number.
Everybody's got your
You buy a
social.
house, they
Everybody.
have it.
So what's everybody screaming and freaking out? Oh, Elon's got possible
You
access to
you use
all the
PayPal, they have your
system.
social security.
Yeah, you know what? Elon was the creator of PayPal.
PayPal, yes, yes.
I bet you folks didn't know that. And do you know that it was a dream of Jeff Bezos to create Amazon? Started just selling books. As a matter of fact, for a little while, he and what's now the Amway Corporation, Altacore umbrella corporation under that, Quickstar or something like QUIXT. Anyway, they kind of helped get Amazon off the ground. Amazon was one of their first partner stores back in 2001, just selling books. And
Mhm.
boy, before you know it, man, they're selling everything. And
Yeah,
then, of course,
definitely.
they got the CIA contract. That's going to be interesting to uncover.
Oh yeah. Oh, definitely. Hey, you guys, hey, we're gonna catch you tomorrow. We got another exciting thing coming up, and more music news, more politics, more blind news, more everything else.
That's
So
right.
have a fantastic day, and I'll try not to get too wrapped up in you don't look like you're blind meeting.
Yeah, you don't.